hearts by the Ruach HaKodesh. It's a place where we give out so we don't become dead like the Dead Sea. You know why the Dead Sea is dead? Because it's always taking in the goodness of life, but it never gives out life. So the altar of incense is a place where we give Yahweh His worship. We give Yahweh His praise. We give Yahweh His prayer. And the fire is not strange. The fire is truly Yisraelite fire. Does it make sense? It's Yisraelite fire, meaning it's not self-centered. It lacks selfishness and individualism. One example, perfect example, the Siddur. The attitude I get all the time, especially from returning Ephraim, is why do we have to pray prayers and say things and repeat everything that everybody else repeats? See, strange fire means self-centeredness, individualism. The Siddur is a perfect example of the altar of incense in modern terms. You understand what I'm saying? We're all praying the same thing. We all are what? One mind, one heart, one will, one purpose. It's not saying, Mom, bless my mama, bless my father, glory to God. And then somebody else, it's like, oh, I have a tumor, I have a tumor, I have a tumor, God, you know I have a tumor, God, my tumor, my father, my mother, my. See, oh, that's nice, there's a place for that, but not when you're a priest. When you're a priest, you forget about yourself, and you say, Yahweh, I've been eating a lot, I've been getting fed by you a lot, I've been receiving all these faces, Shulchan HaPanayim, from the Lechem HaPanayim, I'm getting that life, I'm staying in the truth, I'm not just visiting the truth, I'm not just hanging out in the truth, I want to stay in the truth. So, Father, I've got to give you, and for all that you gave me at that table, and all the light you gave me from that menorah, praise you. I pray for Shoshana, and I want Shoshana to be healed, and I want Beltrami to be healed, and I want Abraham to have understanding, and I want Tamar to have peace, and I want them to have more tranquility. It's a place where you empty yourself and you give to Yahweh the things that He's doing for your brothers and sisters through the menorah and through the Shulchan HaPanayim. Todah Rabbi Yahweh. And this is one example. It's not the only example, but the Siddur is one example where we don't have more spiritual and less spiritual. No matter how spiritual and how much of the word you have memorized, or how little of the word you have memorized, we're all praying the same thing to Yahweh. We're all just talking a wonderful, simple thing from our heart, and we're all in one mind. I'm not saying that you limit your prayer life to reading. A lot of it should be from the heart. But when you're a Kohen, there are going to be times when you're going to have to offer Yahweh incense that has nothing to do with you. In the place called truth. Corporate prayer for Israel is true prayer. It lacks selfishness and individualism. Revelation 5:8, listen to this. When he had taken the book, the 4 living creatures, the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each one having a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the tefillot of the Kiddushim. Did you hear that? You know what the 24 elders are doing in heaven? In front of the throne of Yahweh? They are offering up the incense, the prayers of the Kiddushim, not the prayers of the elders. They're not praying the prayer of the elders. They're praying the prayers of the Kiddushim on the earth. That's what pure fire is. Non-strange incense. Pure incense. If you're going to abide in this place called truth, you're not satisfied with the way and staying at the door, there are going to be times you're just going to have to forget about your depression. There will be times you have to forget about your circumstances, forget about your jobs, forget about your ex, and focus in on Beltrami and Tehillah and Rabbi Mike, others in the camp. There are going to have to be times you're going to have to do that. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Just like the elders all don't offer their prayers, they offer the prayers of the Kiddushim. And we close with this. Now watch this. Whenever, first close and last close. Whenever Aharon, the high priest, enters the Makom Kadosh, or the holy place, he bears the names of the sons of Israel on his heart in the breastplate of decision, as a continuing memorial before Yahweh. The Urim and Tumim are in the breastplate. So they may be over Aharon's heart when he enters the presence of Yahweh. Thus, Aharon will always bear the means of making decisions over his heart before Yahweh by prayer. The ancient rabbis believed that this is how Yahweh spoke to Aaron, through the Urim and the Tumim, which were over his heart on the breastplate, that lit up the stones on the breastplate to direct the children of Israel. True prayer focuses in on Yahweh's will for all 12 tribes. So the altar of incense is not just self-prayer, but prayer for what? All 12 tribes. Make sense? So when Aharon had the Urim and Tumim, you ever hear those strange terms, the Urim and the Tumim on the breast piece? What were they? Let me help you. And this is still part of the first one. That love for Israel that took place at the what? Mizbeach HaKetoret, the altar of incense. That love for Israel, where Yahweh was getting his praise, Yahweh was getting his worship, Yahweh was getting those things that Israel brought to him, that belonged to him. I will share my glory with no one. So at that place when Yahweh was getting all his glory, all his acolytes, Yahweh, our sages teach us, don't miss this now, we close it, don't miss this. Yahweh was so self-energized in himself that he would light up on the breastplate, carrying the 12 tribes. See, the prayers were for all 12 tribes. That's why Aaron wore the breastplate of the 12 tribes. He wasn't praying for Aaron, he wasn't praying for Moshe, and he wasn't praying for Miriam. Hello.
Hallelujah.
He was praying for all 12 tribes. Just like Yeshua, our Kohen HaGadol, prays before the Father for Jewish and non-Jewish Israel, all 12 tribes. But listen to this. The Urim and the Tumim would give counsel and direction to Israel in the days before the Ruach HaKodesh was what? Poured out, correct?
Right.
Yahweh would light up either of those stones, the Urim or the Tumim. And I don't know all the details, I have to study more. Suffice it to say, when Yahweh was energized by the Mizbeach HaKetoret, he would kinetically, listen, electrically, kinetically, energize the stones in different colors and guide Aharon, who would guide Israel. What does that mean? When you give Yahweh his due, his credit, his glory for being fed continually at the table of his presence, at the table of continuity, at the table of stacking, at the table of his faces, and you take time to take what he gives you and deposit it in others. It's not strange incense, it's sweet incense. In vain, Yahweh is energized by your service, and you are energized in your service, and all is well in Yahweh.
Amen. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
But notice, Yahweh would only energize those Urim and Tumim kinetically, supernaturally, when that burden on Aharon's heart was for all 12 tribes. So a Kohen has to have a circumcised heart personally, and not a vision for the church or for the Jews or for anybody, but his vision has to be the vision of stacking found in those 2 stacks of lechem. And that the day you go home to be with Yeshua, for to be absent from the body is to be present with Yeshua. To the day you go home to be with Yeshua, let no man steal that energy, that joy, that burden that you carry in your heart for Jewish and non-Jewish Israel all the days of your life. Father, we thank you for your tov to us today. Father, we thank you